Now, I bet a whole lot of us is planning some big trip out of town right now for the summer, but I gotta remind you, you probably don't need to go as far away as you think, because Illinois is in the middle of everything. Whether you are looking for adventures in breathtaking state parks, check. Explore the neon nostalgia of Route 66, check. Or want to make the most of summertime shot like me, check. And Enjoy Illinois can help you plan your getaway or help you convince your people to come visit you this time. Find just what you're looking for and a little more at enjoyillinois.com.
Hey, executive producer Simone Alicea here, and at the end of today's episode, we've got a sponsored segment from Enjoy Illinois. Carol Hoffman from the Southernmost Illinois Tourism Bureau is going to talk with me about the food and drink scene in Southern Illinois, from legendary barbecue spots to local wineries and hidden gems worth the trip. So stick around, because you just might find your next great meal a few hours outside the city.
Today on CityCast Chicago, I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to be outside all month long. It's officially summertime shy, and we got many ways to make the most of June in Chicago. It's Monday, June 1st. I'm Jacoby Cochran, and this is what Chicago is talking about. This month's guide is sponsored by the good folks over at Enjoy Illinois. We've got two amazing guests in the building with us today. CityCast Chicago contributors Leigh Giangreco is back with us. Leigh, it's good to have you with us.
Hey, Jacoby, good to be here.
We've also got Anna DeShawn in the building. Anna, it's good to see you.
Family, it's always good to be here.
Hey, if y'all are new to CityCast Chicago, please go through the crates, listen to some of our episodes. Even if you just listen to last month's episodes, you're going to hear both Leigh and Anna bringing some of the biggest stories happening in our city, some of the things they are most looking forward to. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, the things we are excited for and paying attention to most in June. And I want to start there. What is something that is on your calendar, schedule, you are excited to get out the house for? And I'm going to start with you. What are you most looking forward to in June?
Let's be clear, family, already know, okay, I'm a professional queer. June is my Super Bowl, okay? It's nonstop in June. So I couldn't just give y'all one. So I'm going to go beginning of the month, middle of the month, end of the month. June 5th, there's going to be a candlelight vigil, because we got to remember the whole generation has been lost, right, to AIDS. There's a whole beautiful campaign happening at the beginning of June called the 7 Days of Health. It's a campaign that's happening across the country, not specifically about HIV and AIDS, but about all of the healthcare cuts and highlighting just how much harm is being caused because of these cuts to Medicare and Medicaid. So there's a campaign, but there's a candlelight vigil on June 5th. I'm absolutely going to be there. It's going to be at the AIDS Garden. So join us for that. Then on June 12th, I am hosting a podcast salon. And I mean, this is a podcast. I feel like y'all would get down with this situation. We're going to have two really dope podcasts we're going to highlight. One, Red for Revolution, which is a 2-time Ambie Award-winning audio drama, also a Tribeca Film Festival choice. It's a Black lesbian coming-of-age story. Child, Loretta Devine is in this. Danny Glover is in this situation. Jordan Hall is in this. It is original music. All the music in this audio drama was composed as they were putting it together. It's absolutely beautiful. The director, founder, writer is going to be in Chicago with me at Sisters in Cinema on June 12th. I'm just saying it's going to be lit. You should join us. And then at the end of the month is Pride Fest. I've talked about Pride Fest already because I'm definitely going to see Duran. Okay. But Pride Fest also has some of your other favorites. Mnique is going to be there. Anthony Rapp. I mean, when is rent not a thing? Okay. Anthony Rapp is going to be there. The Vixen, one of my favorite queens in Chicago, is going to be hosting as well. It's June 20th and 21st. The sun is going to be out. It is a time. It is the Super Bowl of gays. Okay. Rainbows everywhere. Give me all the rainbows. So that's all I got for now. But just know there's so much more. Yeah.
Well, Anna, people can follow the CityCast Chicago events calendar. They can listen to your podcast. But where are you getting all of your events from? Obviously, you tapped in, you know a lot of people, but like, where are you going to find not only big events that you got to plan for, but like pop-ups, you know, great restaurants, and like you said, podcast salons?
100%. So Windy City Times, my cousins over here, Legacy LGBTQ Outlet, they got a whole guide to Pride. Jake Whittick, we love him. Go there. They got all the festivals outlined. They've got all of the prides. Y'all have no idea how many prides there are in Illinois. Y'all have no clue. Okay, there are so many. So find one in your neighborhood.
This weekend, a lot are going down in the suburbs, if I'm correct, like Quad Cities, Downers Grove, Elgin, Rockford, and then on Sunday, Buffalo Grove. Please follow along with our events calendar at chicago.citycast.fm.
Absolutely. They are literally everywhere. Okay. Everywhere is gay. Okay. And I love it
Is gay.
because it annoys so many people. And I love that even more about this whole time in our lives. So especially right now, where so much of it is being divested from, there is so much hate happening to my trans siblings out here. And there's so many people who just truly cannot live out. Right. And so Pride gives us an opportunity to say, it's all right. We're going to celebrate for you. And when you're ready, we here with you, you know, and this is also why I use the word family. So, yeah, let's have a time outside and let the sun shine on all of us. Yeah.
Beautifully said. Leigh, what is something you are really excited for in June?
I am so excited for, honestly, anything free in Grant Park, free in the park downtown. But especially, I'm super excited for the Grant Park Music Festival. I went last year. They had like a Rodgers and Hammerstein night. And so if you like that, it's the lawn seats are free, which is great. So first come, first serve. And I double checked. You can bring beer and wine into there, and people go all out. People are bringing like champagne and little candelabras and, their wicker baskets and everything. So like they are prepared for this. So June 10th, they will play symphonic dances from West Side Story. So I hope to check that out. That's on a Wednesday. And yeah, I'm just excited to, be outside on a nice summer night, listening to music downtown against the beautiful skyline of Chicago.
Between Ravinia, between the Millennium Park series, like the ongoing summer music series in the Chicagoland area really are can't miss.
Yeah, and I do think that there is really something for everybody. And what I love about the events like the Grant Park Music Festival is that they draw you in with some of those hits like, West Side Story, or I think last year they did Holt's The Planets, which, if you're a fan of Star Wars, basically John Williams stole that straight up from the planets. It's fantastic. But they draw you in with those, and then you'll get like maybe an original piece, or maybe you'll get like a little deep cut of classical music that you've never heard. And honestly, even if it's stuff you've never heard of before, it's just a nice night out. Just like go and feed your soul with some great music in the great outdoors.
Speaking of outside, all of the events I want to talk about are really about me getting outside. One is for the last couple of years, I've been playing softball with the Chicago Media League, and that starts up tonight. We play every Monday at Mozart Park and Logan Square, except on holidays. And so I'm excited to get back out there with the team to mostly around like average as a team. I think we're like pretty solid. And I love that. Nobody is like taking it too serious. Like we want to win, we're competitive, but we're having a good time. It's like a good competitive balance.
I love playing, but I know I can't commit to the games. But I would love to come support because I know y'all probably go drinking afterwards.
Yeah.
Sometimes we do. Two other events I'm looking forward to. Juneteenth at DuSable. This is an event that I didn't go to last year, but I really want to get back to. That's taking place on June 19th from 10 to 5. They're going to have yoga out there, live music, a bunch of educational programming. Some really good speakers are going to be out there as well. And mostly it's just a good time. People out there hanging out on the lawn in Washington Park. And then one of my absolute favorite festivals I go to almost every single year is the Puerto Rican Festival in Humboldt Park. that is 4 days of some of the best food, some of the best energy you're going to find in the city. I don't be getting on none of them carnival rides, but that ain't got nothing to do with them. I don't be getting on none of the
You don't like
carnival
the
rides.
Scrambler or anything like that?
No. But from June 11th through June 14th, there's going to be a lot going on. Barico's Got Talent. They're going to have open mics outside that people can get involved to. It's like a week-long programming that's going to be going on out there. And then, of course, you got the parade that is going down. If you want to go for the San Juan 5K, you can get down with that as well. Again, it is one of the best places to be during the summer. I spent hours in Humboldt Park last year, so make sure you sunscreen up and go out there and enjoy yourself. So those are probably 3 of the things I am most looking forward to this summer. But again, stay listening to the episodes throughout the month. We're going to keep dropping more events for you, more ways to get outside. Also, our friends over at Enjoy Illinois, what they're most excited for is for you to visit Blue Sky Vineyard, Rendleman Orchard, Scratch Brewing Company, or Pat's Barbecue when you're making your road trip through Southern Illinois. The American Writers Festival returns to Chicago for a free 2-day celebration of the written word. Co-presented by the American Writers Museum and Chicago Public Library, some featured writers include 2026 Pulitzer Prize winner Daniel Kraus, as well as best-selling and award-winning authors Reza Aslan, Dr. Eve L. Ewing, and our poet laureate Maida Del Valle. But there will be more than 90 writers across 40-plus programs spanning pretty much any genre you can think of. Fiction and poetry, comedy and horror, you get the idea. You can have thought-provoking conversations with acclaimed storytellers, get your book signed, take writing workshops, or enjoy story time, crafts, and other family-friendly activities. It's June 6th at the American Writers Museum and June 7th at Harold Washington Library. Learn more at AmericanWritersFestival.org. During our monthly guides, we also want to talk about the stories we're going to be watching closely this month. Leigh, I know you recently looked into some concerns at Haugen Elementary in Albany Park. What's going on?
Yeah, so this is a bit of a follow-up story to an article that I wrote back in December for Block Club Chicago. So Haugen Elementary, the staff and teachers and just community members there have been voicing concerns that the school is overcrowded. Students are having tutoring and, social workers are having to work inside what are basically converted storage closets. I mean, technically they are storage closets that have windows, but still these are very small, narrow rooms that are quite cramped. Students were outside in the hallways taking various, lessons and tutoring. Now, CPS is kind of splitting hairs here by saying that there are no classrooms in storage closets. Nobody is taking class inside a storage closet, which, sure, if you want to be technical, like...
But people are having sessions with tutors and social workers.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think if you were a parent who came to visit and you see your kid with a social worker in a former closet, or you see your kid under a staircase in a tutoring session, you're going to say, hey, what's going on here? Why isn't there room?
What in the Harry Potter is going on right now?
Exactly. And that's funny you say that, because that was a comment that I heard from concerned community members was, this is like Harry Potter. The kids are under the staircase. And so the school wanted to co-locate, meaning move some of their classes, like 7th and 8th grade, over to a nearby school, North River Elementary. Now, North River already has an elementary school there, but on the 3rd floor, it's vacant after Aspira Charter School closed. But in order to do that, in order to co-locate, they have to go through a process with CPS. CPS weighed this request. They got surveys back from people at Haugen, meaning the staff and parents, and also at North River. They assessed whether the school was actually crowded or not, and they denied that request. So now community members are coming back to CPS and asking for this again. They're saying, hey, can we get at least temporary relief for the upcoming school year, meaning the 26-27 academic year? And then, we would like more permanent relief for the 27-28 school year. Now, what's interesting is that CPS said this back in December when I did this story, and they maintained today that Hagen is not overcrowded according to their technical space utilization rates. So it's kind of confusing. They have this rate where if it's 110% utilized, then that's overcrowded. But I guess Hagen has not met that. So technically they're operating below that threshold. So that's one of the reasons that CPS has denied that.
Do you have a sense based on like the space of the school, what that means? Like, what does it mean to say, for the school to say, no, we're overcrowded, we're having to put people in cramped spaces, and CPS to say, no, based on our formula, you're not overcrowded? Is CPS arguing they're not using their space effectively? I'm confused because it's also a decades-long conversation that's been happening at the school.
Right. To be honest, Jacoby, I'm very confused by it. So I mean, just the concept of 110%, I'm thinking okay, that's already over. And then also just seeing what Hagen looks like in person, I guess I'm very confused how that is not considered overcrowded. So I don't really even know how to answer that question. Just because this math that CPS uses seems very different from the reality of what is happening on the ground. And I think that is the same question that a lot of parents and staff and community members are dealing with. And then CPS is arguing, well, no, your view of reality is different than what our formula says.
So you said they're going to put forth this formal application. Do you have any sense how likely it is once they fill out the application, CPS is likely to allow them to split space? Or is that something that CPS can contest as well and say, no, you don't meet the criteria for co-location?
Yeah, I mean, I think if the space at Hagen is still under that threshold, under this utilization rate that CPS uses, it's probably likely that they're not going to be able to co-locate. The other thing that CPS mentioned in this memo that I looked at is that they didn't want to co-locate the students from Hagen over to North River because they worried that that would be turning off a relief valve for the future if Hagen actually does become overcrowded. This is according to CPS. They're worried, should Hagen actually become overcrowded in the future, then what would we do if we already co-located those students over there? And then they're also worried that even though North River has sufficient classroom space to accommodate Hagen's request right now, that would limit North River's ability to expand beyond one classroom per grade. And then the other part that CPS noted in this memo is that even though enrollment increased at both North River and Hagen between 2022 and 2025, CPS hasn't projected future growth. And one of the points that they made in this memo is that they don't expect future growth, given not only the decrease in the pre-K to 8th grade population in Albany Park, but, quote, additionally, recent actions from the federal government may impact future growth within the community, which has a high percentage of Latino and immigrant families, end quote. So that is a direct reference to Operation Midway Blitz, the ICE activity that has been going on in that area. That was something that really angered some of these community members from 33rd Ward working families. They really took offense to the fact that CPS was saying, well, basically, we have all this ICE activity here. Maybe there's a chance that the number of students from the Latino community is just going to go down.
I understand why people have taken frustration with that response and the overall response, because if you have a school community providing you with evidence that they need assistance, that they need more resource, I think the least you can do is not, kind of publicly gaslight them out of what their reality is. And I want to move over to the story you are going to be paying attention to in June.
Yeah, so this is also a follow-up story. Come on, follow-ups. I reported I reported about this back in October. Alderperson Jessie Fuentes went viral on social media after being wrongfully arrested by ICE after she went to Humboldt Park Health Hospital to check on a constituent she heard was injured, by ICE officials, or let me just say ICE officers. And she went there to check on him. And if y'all remember, because the clip went everywhere, child, she was saying, do you have a signed judicial warrant? Do you have a signed judicial warrant? Over and over again. And they were unresponsive to her. And so they in turn told her to leave. She said, I'm an older person. And then they handcuffed her, right? And so it did go viral. She did the press conference situation, got a chance to talk to her back in October. And of course, Leigh was just talking about Operation Midway Blitz. This is all part of that. And now, just recently, she did decide to actually sue ICE. And we know what ICE has been up to under the Trump administration. And even though we don't see it on our televisions every day or on social media every day like we did back in October, we should all still be very much so aware that ICE is still in our communities. They are still wrongfully arresting people, oftentimes now in the courts, right? When folks are trying to get their paperwork in order. The fact that she has decided to sue the federal government, sue ICE for being wrongfully arrested, I think is really important. I think it's a story I want to continue to follow, not just because she's a Chicago alder, but also because she's queer, also because she's a brown person, and also because she's standing up against this institution that is causing such great harm. Not just here in Chicago, but across the entire country. And they're being funded with our taxpayer dollars, right? And they have the backing of the Trump administration. And so I'm going to be following this story because I think it's really important for us to know what happens next here.
Yeah. Alder Fuentes, of course, is over the 26th ward, which is parts of Humboldt Park, Logan Square, Belmont Cragen, Hermosa. I think it also touches parts of West Town. I think all of us saw those videos when it dropped and were both, I think two things could be true at once, both shocked by how quickly things escalated in that video, but also not shocked because it was clear that during the height of Operation Midway Blitz, they were going to put their hands on whomever they decided. And so I do appreciate that, Alder Fuentes, to your point. Not everybody has the resources to try and hold someone accountable in this process. And I appreciate that Fuentes is following through because I imagine this continues to put a target on their back as it relates to the federal government.
150%.
One story I'm going to be following and looking for updates from is coming out of Hyde Park. A lot of attention is going to be on the Obama Center over the next couple of weeks and months. A lot of attention recently has been put on Mayor Johnson and his administration expanding the Peacekeepers program. But when we look at Hyde Park Academy, some students are calling out the principal there because their local peace room and their freedom store, their resource store that was run by Good Kids Mad City, and the peace room was in partnership with Southside Together. Those things were closed without much, at this point, at the time of us recording this, without much explanation. Students have come out and said that the Peace Room, which was a part of a deal that was made back in 2021 to expand some of these non-punitive resources, some of these restorative justice circles, to remove some of these resource officers and police out of schools. A lot of students have come out and said this was a resource that inspired them to come to school. This was a safe space for them, a place to hang out, a place to model conflict resolution. The Freedom Store provided basic toiletries for people, allowed students to come in and shop while they were at school. And so students have rallied and are asking, why were the organizers who have been working there walked out of school without much explanation? Why were these partnerships shut down? And again, while attention is going to be put on the expansion of this Peacekeepers program, I think it's really important to see these on the ground examples. Like, how are they being received inside of schools where students are actively participating in them? And so right now, there isn't much information, as far as I can tell, from the principal at the school on why they chose to reach out to Good Kid, Mad City, and Southside together earlier in May in their partnerships. But I'm looking forward to getting more angles on this story, because it sounds like the conflict dates back to April and May, where young people spoke out at a town hall that not enough resources were being provided to students in the aftermath of 3 deaths amongst their classmates. One student had unfortunately lost their life at the YMCA right by the school, and students were looking for just more opportunities to process that trauma, to grieve. And so I'm really interested to learn more this month on why this resource was shut down, especially as school's about to close, because this is something students are going to want to see when they come back to school in the fall after, whatever they had to navigate over the summer. And so I'm interested to learn more here. And shout out to Corley J, who wrote about this for The Reader, and Myra Quadja, who really put this on my radar on social this week. Before we get out of here, I want to know from y'all, what are some tips that y'all want to give the people so that they can make their way through June with the most amount of fun, the most amount of safety as possible, and then get out and see some neighborhoods that maybe aren't their own? Leigh, I'm gonna start with you.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned earlier, Jacoby, the Obama Center is going to open up on Juneteenth. If you can't get a ticket, which I think they are booked out through June, there will still be a lot going on outside and everything. Encourage people to enjoy, the beautiful gardens and everything that are going to be there. And then make sure to nab a ticket for later this summer. I know I will cover it for Agence France Presse and also for Southside Weekly. And then later on in September, I'm going to go with my friend. So last time I checked, still some tickets for September left.
I am so glad that I got in at the beginning of May and got to see it while it was a little bit quiet. I will say I was impressed. The structure, when you get close up on it, honestly, it's a lot taller and it's a lot bigger than when you are driving by it. The artwork inside, a lot of it is like takes up entire walls, like 2 or 3 stories.
Wow.
I think the museum is designed not for just like like the Field Museum or MSI, which just like welcomes as many people in as possible. Up until, I'm sure, some pretty strict fire codes. But because of the way the time tickets are at the Obama Center, it seems like they only want so many people to go through. And the museum kind of guides you up through the structure, through the story that they're telling. And then that view at the top is pretty damn breathtaking. It is something.
Is the inside of the museum worth it, I guess, compared to the outside? Because I know, looking at the outside, I have a lot of feelings. A lot of other people have a lot of feelings just about, like, even the font that they chose on the side. The photos on the inside look breathtaking.
I will say, I went to a preview day already. It is absolutely beautiful. I found myself emotional, and me and my wife had to check ourselves, like, why are we emotional? And I think it's because I had to take a second and really reflect. I think one is because we're living at a time where we have a president who is completely unhinged and a white supremacist. And I'm sitting here living through a time where people were mad that Obama wore a tan suit. And now there's this beautiful museum dedicated to his journey, right, in Chicago. And I found myself completely overwhelmed with all those emotions. I will also say what I really enjoyed was that the museum is accessible. And what I mean by that is,
yes, the
way that things were written, it wasn't written for academia. It wasn't written for, someone who has a PhD in African-American studies. It is written for absolutely everybody to understand the journey. And I that was not lost on me,
And then it's also like accessible in
It
terms of
is.
not only the ramps and the elevators, but like all of the exhibits. There, like anything that that was being delivered through a screen, there was somebody who was signing on the screen. There was
Oh, wow.
braille everywhere. There were headphones and hearing aids for people. But in terms of, laying out a pretty manicured story of the Obama presidency, I think it does a good job. The structure on the outside, I think it complements the inside of the museum a little bit. It kind of works well in totality. Like, I agree with you. Just sort of driving by and watching it come up, I've had questions, but like seeing it inside, outside, and the ground starting to mature, I was like, this is slowly going to play into the space in the long run.
Agree. And I will say the people working there, they just happy to be there, okay? It's some of the friendliest staff.
Let's keep it real, yeah.
Yo, they are, and knowledgeable too, right? They want to share the things that are not written, and they want you to enjoy it. And I felt that. And I can't wait to go back because I didn't have enough time. We were there for like 3 hours and I still didn't read everything. But somebody was like, did you see this? I was like, where was that at? I thought I saw everything. And alas, I did not. So give yourself plenty of time, okay?
But that's like the mark of a good museum, is that you can go back again and again.
One major tip I have for people is get out on that water this month in some form or fashion. The conservation kayak tours with the shed are picking up this month, and those tickets are going fast. And so you can go out there for a beginner tour. You can go out there for an intermediate tour. You can go out there with a group. You can spend somewhere between like an hour and a half to 2 hours, or hour and a half to 3 hours out there on the water. Last time I went out with them, I had some of the best pictures I ever got of some herons in Chicago. The amount of turtles that are out there. I want to go further on the North Branch and try and see some little otters out there. And so
there are otters out there now?
Is it otters or beavers? Am I getting the wrong ones?
I think it's beavers for sure. I know that there are beavers. I would be delighted if there were otters, but I know that the beavers are back in full force.
North American river otters have made a comeback in Chicago's rivers. I thought the river otters. So yeah, if you haven't kayaked the Chicago River, it's one of the coolest things to do in the summer. Anna, what is your tip for people to make their way through June?
Yeah, family. So as you hear about staying outside, what I want you to do, pro tip, okay, is put some sunscreen on. You feel me? As I sit here with my eyebrows peeling, I'm going to be taking my own advice. Okay, put the sunscreen on. Do yourself a favor. Your skin's going to appreciate you. Okay, because we do want you to be outside. You know how we do. We got to go hard for 90 days. Summertime shy, and so pro tip.
You got to SPF every day, even in the winter. People don't realize that. You should be putting on SPF moisturizer every day of your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I want to give a huge thank you to our guest, Leigh Giangreco. Appreciate you making time for CityCast Chicago.
Hey, thanks again as always, Jacoby.
Anna, DeShawn, thank you for coming through today. We appreciate all of your suggestions.
Yo, let's go. Super Bowl for the queers.
If y'all want to contribute to our guide to June, please reach out to us at 773-780-0246. Leave your name, your neighborhood, and what's the story you're paying attention to? What's the thing you're most excited for? I want to hear them, and maybe you'll end up hearing yourself on the podcast. Please stick around. We got a quick conversation with Enjoy Illinois about some of their favorite food and beverage spots for your road trips through Southern Illinois.
Hey, executive producer Simone Alicea here with Carol Hoffman, executive director of Southernmost Illinois Tourism Bureau. Carol, welcome to CityCast.
Thanks.
So I want to start broadly because I think when people think of Southern Illinois, particularly those of us here in Chicago, we might not immediately think like food destination. What makes the food and drink scene worth checking out in Southern Illinois?
Well, we have farm to table options in abundance. We have a lot of fruit farms and local orchards. This summer we kick off with peach season. So lots of peaches and nectarines you can get directly from various orchards. Local businesses will feature them in their menus with special treats. Pop-Tarts, peach lattes, peach teas, peach salads, and all kinds of yummy goodies.
Carol, I gotta tell you, the idea of biting into that first summer peach is just like making my mouth water right now. Like I crave it so much.
As it should. Sweet, juicy, sticky, and yummy.
Well, let's talk specifics. What are a few can't miss spots for food? I'm seeing everything from 17th Street Barbecue, Giant City Lodge. Where should people who are hungry definitely make sure to stop?
As you mentioned, there are so many. But yes, Murfreesboro is Illinois' barbecue capital and home of two barbecue legends. 17th Street Barbecue, very popular destination. They run Praise the Lord barbecue competition.
I like the sound of that.
Yes, teams come in from various locations. It's fun to see the sights, smell the smells, taste the product. Then we also have Pat's Barbecue, also in Murfreesboro. Pat Burke was also a founding member of Murfreesboro's winning barbecue team and barbecue legend. So you have two great options right there in one small town.
Well, there's also a growing wine and brewery scene in Southern Illinois. Give me a vibe check. What are we talking about when we're talking about places like, the Shawnee Hills Wine Trail or Scratch Brewing?
Very rural in the Shawnee Hills, so very scenic, lots of opportunity to really kick back, relax, enjoy the forest, the rolling hills, and sample locally grown fruit wines. We have grape wines for most of the trail. Pomona Winery makes non-grape wine, so that means they're using mainly local apples, but some berries and occasionally peaches.
Oh, there it is again.
So you have a different local flavor with the non-grape wines. Scratch is a foraging brewery. They use foraged items out of the forest to create their wonderful different brews. We also have a fairly new meadery. So a Honey Heist Mead Company makes wine out of honey, which is mead. So that is also located right along the Shawnee Hills Wine Trail. So you can see you have a variety.
So let's say someone wants to turn this into a full weekend. We're eating, we're drinking, relaxing. Where do you recommend people stay to get that Southern Illinois experience?
Well, you can actually stay right at a winery.
Oh.
At several of the wineries, Blue Sky has suites above the winery that look out over the vineyard. Von Jacob has farmhouse suites, again, right in the vineyard. But you can also stay right in the fruit orchard at Rendleman's and rent a 2-bedroom cottage. It's kind of a retro era farm cottage and actually be right in the orchard. Look out the window, sit out on the patio, have your own chickens you can watch and collect your own farm fresh eggs. Variety of different vacation rentals, cabins and cottages. Murfreesboro has your standard type lodging if you're looking for a hotel. So we actually have all of those options.
Staying at the winery has got to be that's got to be the way to go, because you don't have to worry about the drive home. You can sample the fare and just go upstairs. It's right there.
Yep. Safety first.
Well, Carol, thanks so much again for joining us at CityCast today.
Thank you.
Again, you want to check out enjoyillinois.com to learn more. We're going to have that link for you in our show notes as well. Thank you so much for listening.
One more thing before we get out of here. Some good news. Ravinia Summer Festival is back for the season bright and early on Wednesday, and it's kicking off with a celebration of Miles Davis and John Coltrane. Terrence Blanchard and Ravi Coltrane are going to be out there. I'm definitely at that moment in my life where I'm kind of trading in some of these all-day summer festivals with the youngins for a little more great lawn picnic vibe out there at Ravinia. They got plenty of shows to choose from, so you can visit their website, ravinia.org. We're going to be back bright and early tomorrow. I'm going to talk to you then. Peace.